Welcome back to the live stream, the Amish Potatoes house. Let's get into it. I apologize for, well, it's not so bad maybe, but I could not get my camera to work properly. I think I'm still having video capture card issues. I just need to break down and buy a good expensive one instead of trying to get away with cheap. So we're using the camera on my laptop. Yeah. Ask your questions in the chats. I'll answer anything. Well, maybe anything if it's YouTube friendly. I will be having to look down at my phone to watch the chat. Let me find that while I'm at it. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't know how many people will join. Oh, there's 15 watching. Welcome. Welcome. Let me know who's in the chat. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if I need to adjust that, if there's a problem with audio or video. And no, if I know what I'm doing here. I don't see anybody in the chat. Let me see. Live. Yep, there we go. Hey, Sharon. Audio and video good. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Thank you for that. Excuse me. So, Cheese Louise, you're back. Hi. Good afternoon, Terry. You as well. What child is getting saved? Yeah, I kind of have a cool story on that. We'll wait till some more people join if they will. Yeah, I met some of my I've met them before, but I ran into some relatives I haven't seen in a long time, and I had an interesting conversation with them. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Hello from Oregon. Any of you guys watching the Super Bowl? Hey, Daniel and Tabitha. Are you the Daniel that's living in Wyoming? Yeah, I'm not sure. I was thinking you are, but maybe you might not be. I'm not sure. Can't remember. I get you guys confused sometimes. So hi from Buffalo, New York. Babette says saw a group of people that were dressed in Amish dresses in Tok, Alaska. Do they live up there too? They were in a school bus. Not sure. Not sure about Alaska. Not that I know of. I haven't heard of anything, but they're small communities are kind of everywhere. So yeah, I don't know. There's other religions that kind of dress similar. So, like what we'd call the Brethren or the German Baptists might look kind of similar, some of them. So, yeah, unless maybe they were Amish. Maybe they were just visiting. They do that sometimes. I don't know why they would visit in the wintertime, though. Usually it'd be summer. So, hello from Southern New Jersey. Hey, Angela. And then, no, I live close to, okay, all right. Close to Jamesport, Missouri. So yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not watching it. I don't really care about it anymore. Used to have big old Super Bowl gatherings. It's on in other room. Yes, the preview. Sarah says yes, the preview is on in other room. Oh, Super Bowl. Okay. Anyway, we'll keep it short. We'll try to keep it within an hour today. In Southwest Florida. It's probably nice weather. Although we're having a very beautiful day today. It's gorgeous. No Amish community in Alaska, but they're Mennonite up there. Daniel and Tabitha Yoder. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. There's Mennonites everywhere as well. So anyway, yeah. So catching up on a few things. We've had 2 weeks off from work, and I've been super busy. I've got a website started for to sell some products. I haven't gotten to the t-shirt or hat part yet, but been working with my dad who makes he makes buggy driving horse harnesses. He'll be making belts. So we got some buckles picked out and some leather colors picked out for belts. So we'll be putting really good, genuine leather, Amish-made belts on that website. Also, we're working on dog collars. However, we're struggling with finding the right color hardware for the dog collars. So as soon as we get that figured out, we will be putting those on there too. Hopefully in a week or two that some of that stuff will be up there and you'll be able to purchase some if you're interested in it. And then, yeah, I'm going to be working towards getting some gear on there. Let me know what else. I was thinking, well, I can sell dog collars and leather stuff, but maybe I can just start finding more products to sell on there that's authentic Amish made stuff, just kind of your small time businesses or little hobbies that Amish people have that they're selling stuff out of their homes, like soaps. I might have a lead for purchasing soaps and selling soaps. If you guys are interested in that, there's a young lady that makes aprons, like cooking aprons. I don't know if, just let me know. Give me some ideas. I struggle with coming up with ideas for stuff like that, but we'll just start a little website and we'll see where it goes. Maybe I can find more and more stuff that's authentic Amish made where I can actually get in there and get some video of them doing it. Speaking of that, in my editor right now is a tour of an Amish cabinet shop. So I'm editing, putting that all together, and yeah, that's going to be cool. So I'm always looking for items made in the USA. I know we should all be purses. What about purses? Sarah K. Yeah, Sarah. What about purses? I'll look into that. I know there is an Amish company who already makes them. They have a website. I don't know if I want to release that information because no, it'd probably be all right. They make belts too, but you have to buy the belts from my dad. Silver Star something. What is it? Silver Star something. They have a website. Go check it out. Silver Star Leather, something like that. They do make purses. They're like, this stuff isn't cheap though. This is quality stuff, quality leather, and it's don't be surprised at the prices. Yeah, find local products that are Amish made. So that's kind of the plan. I was looking at some baskets from a community. Somebody makes them in a community up in Michigan, and they look really good. Like, I'm not a basket person, but just the colors they use and stuff, it looks really, really good. Hello from Southern Indiana. Hey, Tracy. Where are you at in Southern Indiana? Are you close to the Davis County community or Orange County community? Be curious. I used to have some friends that lived in Salem, Indiana. That they had a small Amish community there. It moved out. I think some other Amish are now moving in. Shoes. Shoes. Yeah, I don't think there's any Amish people that make shoes. But are you talking shoes? Shoes like just normal shoes that we would buy in stores? But yeah, talking about making products that are in the USA. I need to be looking at my chat down here. Looking for items made in the USA. I know we should really be doing that, or at least supporting the small businesses. In town here we have the grocery stores that we have. Aldi's is coming in, but that's kind of the same. But we have Myers and Walmart, and I hate I hate what those businesses stand for. This might be a touchy subject, but when things get worse, we're going to be stuck with those stores who will control us. Just because we want to save a few bucks, we go shop at Walmart. Just because we want to save a few bucks on groceries. And what that does is everybody takes that 30-minute drive to Walmart. Well, and then the small guy in town, the little grocery store, just dies out and is no longer there. Same with the hardwares, there's usually hardware stick around, but other small businesses, especially clothing stores and stuff like that, everybody goes to the mall or to Kohl's to whatever, these big box stores, and purchases from them instead of supporting the local guy, the small guy. But what happens when the mark of the beast, whatever that is, what happens when that comes out? What happens when you aren't able to shop there because you refuse to get that stamp on your forehead or that stamp on your hand or that piece of paper that says, unless you worship me, not God, unless you conform to our ways and deny Christ, you will not be able to buy things. You will not be able to purchase, shop at our stores. So then is when we need the small guys, and it concerns me a little bit because hopefully I'm explaining this correctly, but I'm guessing the mark of the beast. I don't know when that's coming. I'm not going to try to guess. I don't know. The Bible says it's coming where we will not be able to purchase or have, buy or sell without that mark. And what does that look like? I think it's people are willingly going to take it. I don't think we're going to be forced to take it. I think people will choose to take it. But a lot of people will choose to take it because they have to feed their kids. You're right, or themselves. Like when you go without food for a couple of days, you're going to give into stuff that you normally wouldn't. And so we always think, well, the government's going to push this on us, but I don't think the government is. They may try; they're part of it. But when you look back in 2020, when we were supposed to cover our faces, we couldn't go to stores unless our face was covered. Me and my wife, we chose not to, and we tried to go into stores. We weren't allowed to because we refused to wear the face covering, and so we were turned away. But luckily, fortunately, we had that local store, that local little mom and pop grocery store where we could buy our groceries at. And from then on out, I continued to support them because that's what we're going to need, and it's not the face covering thing it was enforced by businesses. It wasn't enforced by government. No cops were out there writing tickets for people not wearing this, right? It was businesses turning away people. Like, you can't come in here. You can't come in here unless you wear that. And I get it. They were scared. The mandates were telling them that you have to, right? But the thing is, that was just a lie. There's some businesses. There's a restaurant in LA who stayed open the whole time. They got fined, fined again, and they went to court and they fought it and they won and they stayed open the whole time and they were busy, packed the whole time. Same way with a gym in Buffalo, New York, from what I understand. They kept getting fined, went and fought it, got to stay open. And I know this is a touchy subject because some people, well, I don't know how much I want to get into this. But I think at this point now we can look back and we can clearly tell that not more people died than normal, and the having to wear this was nothing. It didn't do nothing, right? And then the jab came out, the arm syrup, and there was businesses once again trying to enforce it on their employees, which didn't work, which is awesome. So what I'm getting at is there's going to come a day where we will have to take the mark of the beast in order to buy stuff. And I think it's going to be businesses, stores, and businesses that are corporations that are enforcing it, not our law, because our law still is good if it's used correctly. And we can, and if we just got to do the work, we just got to go fight it, and we win, just like that restaurant did in LA and that gym in Buffalo. So there's so many homesteaders and people on YouTube who are are saying that, the economy is going to crash soon and the end is just going to get crazy here in a little bit. Be prepared. And I'm guessing, I'm guessing that they're right. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know anything about it. It is good to be prepared. I had this idea of how to do that, and really community. Like, grow as much food as you possibly can. Make sure you have water, that you have access to clean water, drinkable water. Make sure that you can heat your house with, I would say, wood. Because if something bad happens, no electricity or no, if we don't have electricity, if grids get shut down periodically here and there, we won't have electricity. We won't have gasoline. We'll run out of gasoline. So the ideal way would be to have a house where you have at least a hand pump that you can get fresh water from a well, or you can heat with wood, and then start building community. 5, 10 families around you get together, get together every other month, every 3 months, get to know each other, have plans in place. If you all have to huddle up at one person's house, pick the best house, have some food, have some gardens, be growing your chickens. Ideally, having a group of 10, 20 families where one person milks a cow, or milks cows to provide milk for everybody and butter for everybody. And if there's a doctor in there, that'd be fantastic. Or if you get a welder or somebody who knows carpentry, and I'm kind of rambling on now, but that's the way we should be looking into our future, because who knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Is there going to be a recession? Is there going to be a Great Depression? I don't know. But ideally, community is where it's at. Amish are going to survive longer because of that, because they work together, and I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer, so I imagine we're living in town, but if I don't know if I'll ever get it done, but if we move to the country, I'd like to gather up some neighbors, some 10 families in the area to get on the same page, to be there for each other if one needs help, and to encourage the others to also grow gardens, to grow food, to have somebody who milks cows, to have somebody who, but if you have somebody in your group who does milk cows, then you need to be ready as community members to step in. If he wants to take cows, you have to be there morning and night. You can't go on vacation. You have to be there. So as community members, you have to be willing to step in and do his chores, milk his cows if he wants to take a vacation, or if he's sick or something like that. You have to sacrifice. And with communities, there's some lazy people and there's some people who are going to be doing it all, but you have to get past that. That happens in the Amish community. There's some people who do put more effort into community relations than other people. It's like the church in Idaho, when they called for people to help with ministries like VBS and, the parade and floats and stuff like that, or just, a work day, cleaning up somebody's house or something, it was always the same people coming. The same group of people were always the ones showing up doing the work. Now I get it. Some of the other ones probably were tithing and doing all that, probably tithing more than this group, but there's always the same group of people who were there cleaning the church, who were there with DBS, doing ministries and stuff like that. And it's just the way it is. You just have to be okay with it and not let that grind your gears and not start gossip about it. So, long story short, I think the more we can support local, the more we can support the USA products. Yes, they are more expensive, but can we stop buying a bunch of crazy stuff and just putting our finances where it matters? I need to work on that. But yeah, and then community. And I think that will go a long way to surviving whatever may be coming. Who knows what it is? Honestly, I think a really hard recession, maybe even Great Depression, if not too many people die, it would be a really good thing for us Americans. We've had it really easy. We become really soft, and I think we need to gain a little grit. It's still a little scary, but start now, start preparing now, start thinking about mentally how you would handle situations with no power, no electricity or no cars to get around. Like how would you survive? Water, warmth, and shelter is the first priorities that you need and means to get that. So now that I went on rambling, let me catch up on some of the comments here. It's easier up here, but it might shake the camera. Western Jackson County, Eastern Lawrence County, Tracy says, from Southern Indiana. I'm not sure where that's at. Miss Thompson, I don't know how to pronounce your first name, but you say leather shoes. Yeah, that would be cool. Leather shoes could be cool. Okay, I'll have to think about that. I don't know of anybody who makes them, though. Those are all, I don't know of any Amish person who makes them. There's only a few, what do they call them, cobblers left in this world, or this country anyway. Is it Nick's Boots? Still does custom shoes. We used to put our names on our products so people know they are Amish made. Yep. Yoder, Miller. Yep. Do the Amish make their own hats? Not that. No, I don't think so, Kenneth. They are bought in. They are quite expensive. A big wool hat, I think at least $150. Straw hats, I'm not so sure, but those are bought in as well. Hi from Iowa. They have a greenhouse business, maybe seeds. Not sure what you're talking about, Lee. The Amish there's some Amish with greenhouse businesses, yes, around here. And there's quite a bit of them elsewhere, too. There are Amish in Montana that custom-made shoes that they're not cheap. But oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, they can't be cheap if they're custom-made. But they're probably good. I'll have to look into that. Thanks, Daniel. Sarah, I agree with you. I buy local as much as I can. Yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I wish more people would do it. Everybody's just trying. I've talked about it even to the Amish people I work with, and they're like, yeah, but you'd save money at Walmart. Like, I know, but is it worth it in the end to save $20, $40 on your grocery bill every week? Hey, Green Hubs. Hey, by the way, I still have your. This is the In-N-Out Burger status. I don't know how many weeks it's been now. 3? But it is hard. It's shrunk a little bit. It does not stink, but it is. Yeah. We might be heading to Southern California for our daughter Hannah's graduation in May. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go, but my wife's going. And that's all I'm going to eat while I'm down there is In-N-Out Burger. So, what is going on? Yes, Sheila says, yes, buy local as much as possible. Support your local farmers too. CSA community support that. Exactly. Yeah. So support the people that are raising the beef. Support the people who are doing honey. Yeah, as much as possible. Although you can't buy everything, you still have to buy toilet paper. You still have to buy, but as much as possible, support your neighbors. And Cindy Lou says, never hurts to be prepared as we can. Yeah, exactly. It's, there's preppers out there, and that's, yeah. If that's what they want to do, for sure, go for it. I'm not exactly a prepper, but we have enough food to last us for a while, and yeah, it's kind of satisfying to know that, to not having to be relying on a grocery store every week. So, I always like the end times, right? The apocalypse. It's all going to come crashing down, and I imagine desolation, right? No green trees, and just cities are just in shambles, and that we're going to have to be out nomads trying to find our way around and scrapping for every little piece of food that we can get. However, that's I think that way because that's the movies I've watched. That's what it looks like. And the end times movies, apocalypse movies. So that's kind of what I imagine, but I don't think it's going to be like that. The rain's still coming. Rain's coming down, right? The sun's shining, plants are growing. We just have to be reliant on ourselves and not corporations and government. And that it comes with, the freedom dispensers come into play here too, where everybody's kind of prepared as far as, the self-defending thing. I don't know if I can say it on here, but freedom dispensers, pew-pews. If you have a community of 10, 15 families that, have something in place with a couple of guys at least, where if something goes on, that you have backup. Like Wrangler Star, if you guys watch him, he just had what he thought was an intruder in his house when he came home one night. Ended up being his sister. But he came home one night and he saw somebody walking around in the house, and instantly he has a little child with him, and instantly he could call up his couple guys that he knew that they had collaborated with and got on the same page with as far as defense. He called them up and said, "Hey, I got somebody in my house. I probably might need your help." And so they were able to take care of that situation. Ended up being his sister. She had been visiting that day, forgot her phone, left, and then she was just back grabbing her phone. But my buddy here in northern Indiana, he's had to. I don't know how much I can share. I hope it's all right, Davey. Now I mention your name, but anyway, he's had an intruder in his house. He was on the phone with the 911, loading his gun. There was a guy in his house. This guy had thrown a chair through his front window. He had 2 girls in his house. His wife wasn't in there. He finally, at gunpoint, got the man to leave. But all he could think of, he had a knot in his stomach. He did not want to pull the trigger. Thankfully, he didn't have to. But he was just trying to get the guy out of his house to protect his daughters. Ended up the guy was on drugs, and the police did find him later. Silver Star doesn't sell online. Okay, they might not. I know they have a website. I checked it out, so I don't know if you can see their products or not. Gingrich from Ohio. Gingrich Leather from Ohio sells wallets and purses and backpacks. Leather. Their leather backpacks, briefcases are like $200 to $400, but they're like you can't find better quality. In the long run, it's not so much more expensive to buy local. Also simplify. Yeah, Gmail. Yep, I agree. It's not that much more pricey, and support your butchers. Support the local butchers as much as you can. You're going to need them. Green Hub says, Nicks. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, Nicks are, $400 boots. And they're custom made. But I could not do the heels on them. No. Connecting with local CSAs. I'm way behind on the chat here. Sorry, guys. Yes. Yum, yum. In and out is good. It is. It's the best. Please have prayers for my son and me. We need God's protection and wisdom. Okay, Jack. Yeah, we'll be praying. Help me out, guys. Pray for Jack and his son. Canadian government is pushing for digital ID. With us not taking it means no services. Already some businesses no longer accepting cash. Yeah, Jake, that sucks. It's going to come down, and we're going to see who the men really are, right? Boomstick, Justice Pointer. There we go. My relatives in Connorsville, Indiana area. Yeah, I'm still not sure where that's at exactly, but it's scary when you don't feel safe in your own home. I know, it's crazy. I'm hoping for rapture before things get too bad, but only God knows. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, T. Joseph Yoakum, how are you? Chick Henning, I call that my high-speed wireless communication device. Are you talking about the freedom dispensers? Yeah. Wish kidnapping would go away, Don. Yeah, is kidnapping out there? Like, I know it kind of happens in certain situations, but you know, yeah, the kidnapping. I don't know much about kidnapping, but I know like this the sex trafficking and all that stuff. Like, unfortunately, a lot of that is because of happens. I don't think people actually come to your house and take your child or girl, but these women who are trafficked, whatever. A lot of times they come from fatherless homes, broken homes where there's no stability, there's no protection for them. They're on their own, going through school, and just it's so sad. It's so sad, and some guy in a shiny car comes along and offers them the world, and they take it, and that's how a lot of times I think that's how it starts. Like I mentioned before, it's Soft White Underbelly on YouTube does interviews, prostitutes, strippers, uh, gang members, etc. Tons of people, and one of the first questions he asks them is, what was your home life like? Was there a mother in the home? Was there a father in the home? And every single one of them, no, my father. If there was a father in the home, he was a drug addict or an alcoholic. And the mother was left struggling to make ends meet, and oftentimes maybe even struggling with drugs or alcohol herself. So it's just sin, It's what happens. And it sucks for these children that are raised in that. So Simran, whites are great as well. Nick, oh yeah, white boots, yeah. Used to work for whites. Nick used to work for. Oh really? He went out on his own and did his own boots. Okay. How about covering the topic that Amish are taught that they are better than English? Cimarron, West Folk. Yeah, that's kind of. I'm not sure in what way you mean, or what the definition that you're thinking, but yeah, we were always through church, through the home life. Like yeah, we were always told that you don't want to leave. We were so fortunate to be born in this community, this plain community where we learn how to work hard and we're humble and all that stuff. And that, we're so fortunate to be that God placed us here, and we should never waste that and leave. Um, so, we do. Every Amish kid that ever leaves, we think that we're something special, and it's unfortunate, Yeah, we do. Hopefully I've gotten rid of that, but I remember clearly, like when I started going to a non-Amish church, I'd talk to people and I'd be like, I said it proudly, like I was raised Amish, like I was something special. And I look back at that and I'm a little embarrassed, but that gets just constantly, you know, subliminally put into our heads. So I don't know if I missed any chats. I hope not. I watched a video about a tribe in Indonesia that's similar to the Amish. That's interesting. Indonesia, where's that at? I'm not even sure where that's at. So sad. They're taking kids to protect them, kidnapping physically or convincing them to come to your place and then keeping them. Yeah. Jack, that's a big part of it. I don't know who the Whitakers are, Green Hubs. I don't know. Daryl Miller, he's asking, CJ, is your dad's name Carl? It is. I'm Junior. Carl Jr., CJ. Yep. I don't know. Do I know you? Not sure. So, conservative Christian news junkie, Robert. Robert Shorter. Hi, CJ. Did your Amish group practice pouring or immersion? It was definitely pouring, sprinkle baptisms. I don't think any Amish practice immersion that I know of. Yeah. So Daryl Miller asked CJ a question. What is the name? Oh, hang on. Yeah. What is the name of the church you joined? I didn't really join in the sense of becoming a member. Like you don't, not like the Amish, but I attend Living Hope Fellowship in Sturgis, Michigan. So, yep, it's a Calvary Chapel affiliated church. It's, I don't know, some people aren't fans of Calvary Chapel, and I don't necessarily agree with all the teachings they hold to, but it's on the non-essential issues. I really love their style of worship, and I love their verse by verse teaching, book by book, verse by verse. I've heard topical sermons preached, and I just don't find them as solid, I guess. Not that they're bad, it's just I like the verse by verse. I think I know who you are. You have a sister, Leona and Lena. Yep, I do. Yep, you do know who I am. I moved to Idaho. I don't know if you remember. I don't know how old you are. I'm not sure who you are. So, hey, Roy, or Mr. Roy, Brian Roy. Daryl Miller. I used to hang out with your neighbors, Vonda and Irma. No kidding. So I know Vonda. She's like a year and a half younger than me. Irma was quite a bit younger. I'm guessing in Rumspringa, Daryl. So, yeah. Man, I have to see a face. MLP says it's good to find teachings that you enjoy. Yep, correct. I love it. I like it because, there's no avoiding some scriptures. if a pastor avoids scriptures, then you can know when he's avoiding it. Hey, Penny from Goshen, how are you? Nice foreground. Have you roasted hot dogs on the pitchfork? I have not, but that is a great idea. That would make 5 hot dogs at a time. You're onto something there, Green Hubs. So CJ's Living Hope's pastor Tony Ferguson. I met him once. My friend Phil Tice used to go there. Yeah, yep, that's Tony. He's on the radio as well. So anyway, yeah. So I was out getting getting some footage, some B-roll, and I ran into some relatives of mine. They're married, and they were married Amish. And I remember I was just a kid when they got married. I was probably at their. I'm pretty sure well, I know I was at their wedding. I don't know if I remember because her sister got married as well. But and then after they were married Amish, they left. And I remember, my parents and their parents and the other family members talking about this and how heartbroken they were that this couple, shortly after having their first kid, I believe, left the Amish. And they're bad people, right? They did something very, very bad. You never should leave the Amish after you make an oath to stay Amish. Basically, you're going to hell if you do that. If you make the oath to join the church, stay Amish, and then you leave, you're basically going to go to hell. There's not a whole lot of hope in their eyes. So, back then I was like, man, why would they do that? Well, it's not good. They're being disobedient and all that, blah, blah, blah. Now, I know better, but I ran into them and I finally I asked them, like, because they've been Christians or, outside of the Amish for a very long time, and I asked him, so what happened? Like, what is your story? Why did you end up leaving? And she said that she was never, like, her husband never wanted to be Amish, but she was like, oh, it's the only way. If you want to marry me, whatever, you have to be Amish. It's what we have to do. And then shortly after getting married, she was just never really fulfilled, or never really happy, or I can't remember how she worded it, but she started searching scriptures, and somebody, I think, gave her a book to read, and she discovered the truth, and she, on her own, got saved. She cried out to Christ, and she surrendered her life to him. She was saved, Amish. And then after that, they left. And then I asked her, so why? So when did I'm sorry. When did your husband, I don't want to mention names. When did your husband get saved? Was it before or after that? And she was like, well, he says he was saved when he was a kid because of a Bible study in school. And we used to, it might have been a different program in his time, but I know we would go to Good News Club after school once a week, once every other week, whatever it may be. Our parents would let us. And they even had a bus that would take us home because we were Amish kids. Parents couldn't come pick us up. And so we would like Wednesday afternoons after school, in the elementary school, we would go to Good News Club and then go home. Well, this is where he got saved. And which is amazing, Imagine the Good News Club. Here's a room full of Amish kids and non-Amish kids, and the Good News Club teacher, or whatever it was called back then. Awanas is another one of them. I can't remember what they said it was, but here's the teacher sharing the gospel, and that seed was planted in this young man, and he never, he didn't want to be Amish. He didn't know it at the time. Just me, I was saved at 15 years old, but I didn't know it. So what we did was we entered Rumspringa. What's up, buddy? My dog's out here. We entered Rumspringa. We still did the partying thing and stuff, but I don't know the situation with him. But me, I never really liked it that much. I never really felt good about it, and I wanted out. I wanted a family. I wanted. I kept looking at churches, wishing I had I was brave enough to walk into them, to see what they're like, see what see if it's legit, and that was God. That was God putting those desires in my heart. That was God trying to pull me out of there, this still small voice. But I didn't know that. I just kept doing the Rumspringa thing, and it just got worse and worse, and I hated it. And and then, well, you can watch my testimony, but I'm guessing that's why he never wanted to be Amish, because he was saved and God was trying to protect him from that. So interesting, very interesting. I've heard of other Amish couples where these dogs, my wife and Miranda aren't home. They went to watch homeschool play. So now the dogs are hanging out with me. But yeah, so I have heard of other couple. If you're an ex-Amish person and you want to share your testimony, hit me up, because I would love to hear some of those. Some of those are very cool. If you're a Awanas teacher, or Good News Club teacher, my wife did it for a while in Idaho. Keep doing it, guys. That one person, I'm sure there's more, but that one little Amish boy, is that him gaining eternal life out of that is so worth it. So worth it. So I encourage anybody who's doing that to keep doing that. And I encourage anybody who wants to get in a ministry and would be interested in doing something like that, get started. Good News Club, Awanas, get with your local school, do it. And then the other couple. So yeah, she she was saved for 2 years, still living Amish with her husband and praying for him to get saved. And he did 2 years after she did. But so yeah, that's kind of cool stuff, kind of cool story. So, Pastor, yes, in Rumspringa, doing well. Thanks for that. Okay. Did you guys make it to the Farm Expo at the MEC this weekend? Some good deals there. I didn't. It would have been cool to go. I didn't. I tend to avoid crowds. Let me get out my dog. You guys hear him? Trevor, get in here. Oh, you want inside now? Come on, let's go. Trevor. Okay, this dog is full of energy. My apologies. That was probably loud. I hope nobody was wearing earbuds. I can't have him barking at the neighbors. So, LOL, you should make a video roasting the hot dogs. It may become a cool thing. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I might have to do that. Maybe this summer sometime we'll have to do a live stream just roasting hot dogs on the pitchfork. It needs a good cleaning because that's been used for goat manure, chicken manure. It's probably sterilized by now. It's been a year. Jerry, now I know who you're talking about. Yep. Jerry Miller in the chat here is my uncle. Jack, do all your relatives still talk with you or do some shun you? No, they all talk with me. Northern Indiana is very lenient with that. I'm fortunate that that's the case. So, CJ, what is the name of the church you go to? Living Hope Fellowship in Sturgis. If you're looking for a church, come join us Sunday morning, 10:15. Or Wednesday evenings, we usually have a meal at 6 o'clock and then Genesis study at 7. So if you're interested, Daryl, come meet me there. Karen Tyler, Potato Man. Dawn says, thought a person had to be saved into the faith to be able to get married while in the community. Yeah, for Amish people, yes. So you have to become a member of the Amish church in order to be married in the Amish church and be a part of the community. But the people who aren't Amish are still in Indiana anyway, the northern Indiana, Shipshewana, Topeka, Goshen area. The non-Amish, the ones who aren't Amish anymore or never joined the Amish church again, they still interact all the time. Like with this couple I was talking about, my relatives, I'm sure that they were shunned, obviously, I'm sure, but there's hard feelings between families. It's a painful time, and a lot of people want to leave, but they don't because they know of the pain and it really sucks with family. Like you don't see each other much, and there's hard feelings towards each other, and so there's a period of time, a few years, 5 years, 10, whatever it may be, that there's maybe some button the heads and the parents trying to convince their children to stay Amish and the whatever. And then usually that kind of the Amish people just accept it and go along with it. So, and then it ends up being they're okay. They hang out all the time. Christmases, dinners. Now my dog Corgi is barking because of your dogs. I'm sorry. That's hilarious, though. I want to see your dog. Okay, Karen. It's Bear. Let's see if I can do this. Bear is inside the house. He is old and is getting lumpy, but maybe we can. They're Trooper. So, okay. I don't know how. It's never possible to get pictures of dogs, but that's Trooper. He's the rascal. He's full of energy. A sweet dog. He's a cuddler. Here. Yeah. He's a fun dog. He loves running. My running partner now because Bear's too old. Hey, buddy. Look this way. But he's a handful. He's so full of energy. And then Bear is, let me take this in here. And Bear is laying in here somewhere. Bear! Oh, you want in, Trooper? Our house is in a bit of a mess. No, he decided to join. I don't know why he hangs out in the closet, but that's Bear. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you're an old man, aren't you? No. So, we'll do that. Yeah. We cut his hair off. Gave him a really short haircut, and he's struggling to grow him back, which is okay because Bear usually gets really, really floofy hair even in the summertime, and he's always just panting and hot. So I think he's getting old and he can't grow hair like he used to. But Bear is my, I was watching a video today and somebody called their dog they got a dog for a therapy dog. And I was like, what kind of weird thing is that? They got a therapy dog for their child. First, I thought this was a ridiculous idea, but that's just my Amish roots. Because Bear, for me, was a therapy dog. Like, he showed up at my house as a stray, and I fed him, and then he didn't leave my side. And then I went through my thing, my desert experience, right, just broken, and Bear was there every step of the way. And he was, a comfort. Like, it gave me something to take care of. It gave me a pal out on the trails, hiking and doing stuff. So, yeah. So I guess he was my therapy dog. And now I don't think it's that stupid of an idea. Sometimes if kids go through something, maybe giving them a little puppy, somebody to latch onto is a good thing. Trooper is probably saved our marriage. Yeah. It sucks airing out our dirty laundry, but we had a rocky year in our marriage, and I there's not just us, a lot of marriages do, and it was a very, very rocky year, and we finally, I don't know how much I want to share. I don't care about sharing, but I have to protect my wife too. So my wife basically was done with me, and I was trying to get her to to seek counseling with some church members, right? Some of the elders in church, and so as we were fighting it, I was trying to convince her. She was just done, and she didn't want to. And she was out doing something and found Trooper, just a cute little puppy. Wish I had a picture, but and she called me up, like, "Hey, we got this boxer. Can we, Hannah wants him really bad. Our oldest child, Hannah wants him really bad. Can we get him? Like, can she have him?" And I'm thinking, I was out on the road driving truck, and I'm thinking, all right, here's Hannah, a high school kid who's going to go off to college, who works at the Boys and Girls Club after school, who's going to go off to college in another state, and then after that, I don't know, job, whatever it may be. And the last thing she needs is a dog, because she's not going to take care of it. She won't have time to take care of it. So my wife, I was like, I told her, yeah, I know you want the dog, it's not for her. But so finally, I just said, okay, we can keep the dog if we go seek counseling. And she agreed. So now we're here, and our marriage is doing better than it ever has, I would say. So, yep, it definitely is doing better than it has ever. And I think as we go on in life, it's just going to get better. That's something. If you guys are ever in that spot where, I've heard it's in the first 5 years of getting married that is the roughest. I don't know, but so many people, like I see patterns, right? And so many people I've heard, married people who've been married 20, 25, 30, 35 years, their story is always similar. And they were always, always at the point of divorce. And they gave it one last shot and stuck together, you know? So the devil, the adversary, that's where he wants, he does, marriage is not good for him. He wants people broken apart. If he can break families apart, he's got an easy in. So keep that in mind. If you're on your last leg, you know, we have to examine ourselves. Go get help. Go seek counseling. Go seek a good pastor, good pastors, whatever it may be. Especially people who've been through it. You know, we had some great elders and pastors at our church, and they've been through it too. They know. And now they're on the other side, been on the other side for a while and are happily married. So yeah, don't give up. Don't let Satan divide you. Obviously, there's situations where it's just, you know, if there's abuse or stuff like that, or if one person just doesn't want to anymore and they refuse to, and then there's nothing you can do about it. But if both of you want to and you're just butting heads, don't give up. So, enjoy hearing from you. I was raised in a cult. That's interesting. What cult, Mary? They have a lot of similarities. I'm more used to the Kentucky, Pennsylvania groups that are a bit more strict. Don Chain. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, this is a lenient one like Holmes County, Ohio. Shannon asked, did any of your other family members leave the Amish? I have one brother who's left since. And then I still have two siblings who are in Rumspringa. So they're not members of the church, but they're not living the Amish lifestyle really. They're still living at home. They're just not, they don't dress Amish. They drive cars. How often do people join the Amish community? Is that an easy process? I would say, this is just a guess, Gmail, but 80 to 90% of Amish youth in this community anyway go back to joining the Amish church. It's not easy. You just got to abide by the rules. I mean, it's not hard. You just got to abide by the rules. You know, a lot of people when they join the church, they're giving up their cell phones and cars and stuff, but they're willing to do that. And you just do a 9-week class, basically, where during church you go up with the ministers. They kind of go over some of the rules and the beliefs and stuff, and then you get baptized and are a member. The big thing is you have to commit. You have to make an oath that you will. It's an oath to God that you will stay Amish for the rest of your life. Now, my cousin Velda Johnson has broken this oath down. She studied it. I have a video on that. Go check that out. It's an earlier video, but it's a really good video on that oath. If you are a member of a cult, go check out that video. Or were a member of a cult, go check out that video. Yeah, and then once you break that oath, like I was saying earlier, if you break that oath, that's pretty much a ticket to hell. Oh, he's a boxer. Yep, he's a boxer. Boxer pit bull mix, actually. I'm not a fan of the look of a pit bull, but yeah, he looks pretty good. He's just really stocky and strong. He's really strong. So Don Chain, yep, he's part pity. But he barks at people who show up at the door, and he barks when I have him in the car. He barks at people walking by sometimes, but he's a teddy bear here at home. Bear's a nice dog name. Yeah, it was just kind of fitting for his color and everything. So, are they part pit bulls, dog? Just the one is pit bull. Love Pity's Trip is a new dog, isn't he? Nice dog. Yeah, Jerry Miller. Yeah, we got him out in Idaho, but he's is he a year and a half now? Year and a half old, I would say. So Bear has traveled a long road with you. He has. That dog, when did I get him? 2012. He's 10, almost 11 years old. 11 years old, probably. He showed up at my house in 2012, maybe 2011. He was at least a year old. Yeah, he moved to Idaho, then back here. He's done a lot of traveling with me. He's done a lot of miles with me on trails. Poor guy. So Sue Smith asks, was your desert experience when you got saved? It was not. I got saved when I was 15. Shortly after that, I turned 16, did the Rumspringa thing, and then that got less and less fun. It just got bad. I didn't like it anymore. I found a girlfriend, was going to marry her, and then that ended, and I was heartbroken. So, I had, I was heartbroken and devastated to the point of suicide. Like it was, yeah, it sucked. You can listen to my testimony. It's the first video I ever uploaded. That one's an hour and 20 minutes long. I did a later one. I think it's called Why I Left the Amish, short version or something like that. It's only 20 minutes long, but yeah, when she decided she didn't want to be with me, I was devastated. Because I had envisioned the rest of our life together, and all of a sudden, I don't want to, all of a sudden I'm single again. There is no future life for me. I'm single again. I don't want to go do the Rumspringa thing. I don't want to do the dating, the Rumspringa. I'm so sick and tired of that. I don't want to do that anymore. What now? Like, right? I just, what? And a big part of the reason that I was devastated was because when I was a child, at 18 months old, I experienced abandonment. So when I was 18 months old, my twin brother and sister were born, and I had an older sister. So my parents had 4 kids in diapers, and I'm not trying to blame this on my parents. There's nothing they could have done about it. I hold no hate or resentment towards them. It was just the circumstances. It was just God. It was God's plan, right? So there's blessings that come out of it. But when my mom had 4 kids in diapers all of a sudden, a young married mom. Her husband had to go work, right? She had her hands full and with twins, and so she didn't have the time for me that she used to. And so I took that as well. I took that as abandonment. Like, it's crazy. I know at 18 months old, and I never thought that imagined that could happen. But I've talked to my mom about it. She's like, yeah, I noticed that instead of acting out, you just quietly took it and just stepped away. It would have been healthier had I reacted to it. But 18 months old, I don't remember it. It's just what it is. But what that did was it made me very insecure. And I never felt like I was good enough for anybody. Like, my whole life as a kid growing up, I never thought I was good enough. I never thought, like if the church boys would ask me, hey, you want to come over to our house after church and play basketball? My instant thought in my head was, well, they don't really want me to, but obviously they need even teams, so they're just going to ask me because I'm the only choice that's left. Or, other friends would ask me to join them in doing something. I was just like, well, yeah, I don't know why, evidently, because I just never felt like I was good enough for anybody. I never felt like I was, Anyway, quit hammering that. Insecurities, never believed in myself my whole life growing up. And I never really committed to relationships as far as with other groups of guys. Like, in the Amish community, a lot of times you would have your 2, 3, 4 friends that you would always hang out with every weekend. And I never committed. I didn't know why. I just didn't. Like, I would hang out with these people, and I would hang out with this group, then I would go hang out with this guy, and then I would do this. I never committed. I always stayed free. And now I can look back now, and it's because I was afraid of abandonment again. I was afraid if I commit, they would abandon me. You know, it's so stupid when you. But so yeah, so I finally I dated, you know, a lot of girls, Amish girls, and finally I thought I found the one. You know, I fell head over heels in love with this one, and all that. And she is a member of the Amish church, so I had to become a member, which I didn't really want to. Couldn't figure out why I didn't want to. But we dated for a while, for a couple of years, and then I finally got enough, just forced myself to join the Amish church, and then she left. And that just brought that abandonment, you know, right? Now I committed, and it, yeah, she left. I was abandoned again, right, in my mind. So that's what threw me into that desert experience of wishing I was dead, waking up in the morning, praying that God would just take my life in a car accident, you know, a bike into work, just please, Lord, let a car take me out. Or, you know, I was to the point of suicide at one time the only reason I didn't is I didn't want to make my family suffer through my death. I can see how people can get to that point. It's unfortunate that some get past to that point, but I understand how people can get to the point of suicide. And I was crying out to God, you know, what is going on? Why? What? All this pain and all this, and it seemed like there was no answer. And eventually there was. And I ended up moving to Idaho, and slowly my life got better. And I met my wife, and we're happy now. So where was I going with it? Oh, the abandonment. Yeah, it was funny. I knew in my mid to later 20s that something was wrong with me, right? Sex abuse victims, physical abuse victims, because of the abuse they get, they handle things differently. They have defense mechanisms. They might pull up a false confidence to hide their insecurities, their vulnerability, different things, right? And I knew that I had something. I knew that something was different about me. Something happened. Something was weird. But I didn't know what it was. I had no idea, right? But when I read a book by, I can't remember who it was, Dr. Dodson, and he was going through the symptoms of abandonment, suffering from abandonment. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's how I'm acting right now, as if I was abandoned. And then I just started putting two and two together that, yeah, somewhere in my life I was abandoned. And, you know, my first thought was, well, my grandpa died he lived next door. He died when I was 5 years old. And he was really close. Like, I was the oldest, you know, grandson that he had close by. We saw each other daily, basically. And he died when I was 5 years old. So I asked my mom, like, hey, is that, like, somewhere I was abandoned. Was that my grandpa, since we were close? And she's like, no, I think it was happened when the twins were born. So, yeah, like I said, no hate towards my parent. There's nothing, you know, as people, well, they didn't have to have as many kids. And I get those comments, but no, I keep having kids. It's okay. This was part of God's plan. It makes me who I am today. Who cares about this little bit of suffering in the past, right? I almost feel sorry for the people who don't go through that desert experience. It's hell. I'm telling you, it's hell. But you come out the other side so much stronger, so much richer, and especially if you're keeping your eyes on Christ. That was a long thing on abandonment or on a desert experience. So dogs are, oh wow, I'm probably way behind. Glad you're able to stay married. Yep, it's a blessing. Yeah. and it's just been getting better ever since. So, you know, and as heartbroken as I was, man, I look back now at that, you know, my ex-girlfriend leaving, and it's, oh man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that didn't work out. Oh, I don't have to, you know, I would have struggled as an Amish guy, and well, actually, she ended up leaving as well. But um, yeah, I prefer my life now. So yeah, being a over the road driver is very rough on families. I speak from experience. My husband and I have had some very rough years. He is home now, off the road, and we are so much better. Yeah, that is Puma Jane. That is correct. Don't You shouldn't be an over the road driver as a father. I kept making the excuse that, well, I'm only gone 2 nights a week, you know, and that was the case. I had a lot of home time, but it seemed everything that went wrong when I was gone. As far as being wrong, I mean, like, not my wife wasn't unfaithful or anything. It was, you know, the water heater would spring a leak or something, or the basement would flood, or you know, there's family struggles with her or something, you know, and it's yeah. So yeah, but yeah, everything seemed to go wrong when I was, you know, issues with kids and stuff when I was gone those 2 days. So Daryl Miller asked, Carl, question: does a Church of Christ have sound doctrine? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I know there's Church of Christ or Church of God who say you have to be baptized to be saved, and that's not true. So I don't know about that. I can you find me on Facebook and message me in Messenger, CJ Miller on Facebook, or just go to the Amish Potato on Messenger or on Facebook, follow and message me there. I can look into specific churches if you want me to. I don't. I don't know. I don't want to say. Yeah, I know there's a Church of Christ or Church of God. Actually, Robert, Christian conspiracy. What are your? Yeah, you might be able to speak to that if you're still in the chat, Robert. I had a coworker friend who's ex-Amish that jokingly claimed many older Amish like it when one family member doesn't join the church because they now have a ride. Oh, for sure, I can see that because probably jokingly, but yeah, yeah, Amish people definitely take advantage of their non-Amish siblings and kids. I will grew up old order Mennonite, left in 2010. Since I left, 4 of my 7 brothers have followed me. I think they owe me for breaking down the fence. Yeah, no kidding, Keith. You had to be the first one to start, you know, paving the way. No kidding. Like that's yeah. But then on the other hand, like when I left, it hurt my parents terribly bad, and so uh, I think my other younger siblings saw them go through that, and they don't want to do the same thing even if they ever have the desire to leave, right? They don't want to hurt my parents like I did. So hardest part of being Amish is being honest with yourself and everyone else. Jerry, hardest part of being Amish is being honest with yourself. Yeah, probably. Yeah, yep. Be interesting to hear more details, but I'll just have to hit you up sometime. We'll have a conversation. JJ, I had the pleasure of eating breakfast with your son Jerry and Paul Saturday morning. I don't know if they have talked to you or not, but yeah, we met in White Pigeon at breakfast. I don't think I could ever be Amish. I'm not good at strictness. Yeah, you wouldn't make it then. You know, it's really not. The life is really not. Along with community comes the bad things, right? The Amish have great community, helping each other, supporting each other, but along with that comes expectations. Expectations to follow the rules, to wear the right clothes, to not, you know, um, the expectations is where it really sucks. the actual life, living without electricity, living without cars, living without all that is actually very healthy, I would say, and isn't that bad. But it's the expectations. You are squashed as an individual. You have to conform to how everybody else is doing things. That's what sucks. Hey, brother in Christ, cat, orange whistling. I was watching your testimony of why you left the Amish church. I've done some research in the Mennonites and older Amish differs from person to person. Yeah, I understand totally. I was adopted by my grandparents because my mom took off and left me with them when I was born. Didn't know about it until I was 4 or 5. Oh, no kidding, Penny. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing to discover that, and now I look back and be like, it's kind of gone now, but when I still felt like I wasn't good enough or something like that, I could know that, well, it came from when I was 18 months old, some stupid thing, right? And then I wouldn't have to worry about I wasn't feeling good enough. It's just I could know where it comes from, and that it's what I'm feeling is not false. So, and I've gained a lot more belief in myself, a lot more confidence than I used to have, for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened, Penny. I hope you have found strength and freedom out of that, though. Also, I'm so happy I was raised by them. I had a much better upbringing. See, yeah, and you're seeing the good side, the positives out of it. That's awesome. So, Penny said some people are just that way. Yeah, it's just, as kids, even a healthy family, even a healthy mother and father in a home, um, they'll never be perfect. They'll never raise their kids perfectly. A good mother and father their kids will be raised healthier for sure if they're following Christ and his morals, but nobody's ever perfect. And as a father and as a mother, you're going to mess up, and it's going to affect the kids in little ways maybe, but it will. James Dodson. There we go. Yeah, that was a book. I also read Scott Peck. He was a psychologist. That was a heavy book, but it was very informative. So, if you don't mind sharing, how long was a difficult year in your marriage that you mentioned? It was just 2 years ago, I would say. 2. Yeah, just 2 years, year and a half. It was last summer, a year ago. If that makes sense. Year and a half. Is that what it is? Okay. Is the Amish Bible different? Like, what language and translation do they use? Thanks. The Amish Bible. So they preach out of an old German Bible. I think it might be a Lutheran Bible. I think when during the Reformation, Lutheran, translated the Bible into German, and I think that's what they still use. Supposed to use. Excuse me. In our community, they also use the King James Version, so they can read in English. They can understand that a lot better, and they use the King James Version a lot. They hold to their King James only people, so they don't accept any other version. And I've had arguments with my my parents about that. Probably shouldn't, but without tough times, we can never enjoy the times. Yep. Gotta have tough times and enjoy the good times. It was just a one-time cult in Washington State. It was probably never heard of. Mary? It's not the same one Wrangler Star came out of, is it? Were you guys, Mary, fill us in if you're willing. You don't have to share more than you want to, but were you guys allowed to see doctors? Stuff like that? Because there is a cult in Washington. Was it Washington? Was it Oregon? Might have been Oregon. Okay, I don't know. But Wrangler Star, one of my favorite YouTubers, he was raised in a cult. They were not allowed to see the doctor. He was sharing the story of him breaking his collarbone on a mountain bike. He walked out miles, like 4 or 5 miles to the road, hit his bike, walked further to his truck, went back, picked up his bike, drove home with his broken collarbone, and then they strapped him to. They got the elders over. They're not allowed to see doctors. They got the elders over. They strapped him to a hospital bed, and they reset his shoulder. Tried to pull it so that the bones would sit on top of each other again. It didn't work the first time. So they did it again, and he lay strapped to that table for 4 to 6 weeks while it healed. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I can't imagine. Can't imagine." And there's women who have died in childbirth because they're not allowed to see the hospital or not allowed to see doctors or go to the hospital. Yeah, it's very sad. So did I ever bump into my ex after she left? I have not. No. I watched both your testimonies, but it's been a long time ago. Oh, both of our? I didn't know she had one. That'd be interesting, huh? Without the tough times, we can never enjoy the good times. Look at the man and the inspiration you've become. Yeah, thank you, DW Hostetler. Yeah, it's been a transformation, and yeah, got to have the tough times. Like I said, I don't regret. Like it sucked going through that desert experience, but it is what it is. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's been worth it almost. I don't know if I would ever want to go through that again, but it's been so good on the other side of it. Oh, hey, Leela Andrews. Thanks for thumbs up, guys. Give me more thumbs up than viewers. That would be awesome. Really appreciate that. I keep forgetting to mention that. I like to watch. I really like the Amish work together, but I like the Amish work together, but their religion is messed up. Yeah, it's just tweaked enough to just can't think of the word. It's Christianity that's just tweaked enough to mislead them. Oh boy, what happened here? Okay. On your YouTube channel, I didn't realize for whatever reason I could find you here. Well, now I'm going to follow you. Oh, hey, Eric Catman. Oh, yeah, it's on. Yeah, so YouTube is where I like it, but Facebook, it reaches more people. So that's why I share the live streams on Facebook as well. So join me there. I do have. So YouTube is wanting shorts. I guess. I follow a regular star. That's what he says. Live streams and shorts. So for right now, I'm still going to do videos, but I'm going to try to put out some more shorts, some quick, snappy stuff. And I'm also going to put them on TikTok. So if you're TikTok people, you can follow me there. I think you can get away with more on TikTok as far as what you talk about. But if my channel ever disappears, I'll be on BitChute for sure, and probably Rumble. So as soon as I start uploading videos again, normal long, like what do you call them, long form videos, then I'll be putting them on BitChute and Rumble. So if my channel disappears from YouTube, that's where you can find me, and then we'll go from there. DW Hoso says there's something positive in everything. Sometimes you just have to look for it. Yeah, for sure. You can always come out with, a lot of the negatives make you stronger if you let them. But you also have to. I was playing the victim thing for a long time. I would feel sorry for myself. Why did this happen to me? I'm just, this is not fair. Blah blah blah. You have to get out of that mentality. Like maybe not right away, whatever, but eventually get out of that. Stop being the victim. Just take a look at your life and be like, okay, I got handed a raw deal in life, but from here on out, I'm gonna climb. I'm gonna move upward, right? A lot of the pain that I was experiencing, even after I had moved to Idaho, I was still experiencing this. As a matter of fact, I still woke up with nightmares and a cold sweat out there. But finally, I came to the point where I was like, okay, I got handed a raw deal, and this pain I just have to live with it, right? Like for whatever reason, God chose to not take this pain from me, and I'll just have to live with it daily. You know, it showed up usually in the mornings, and then a lot of times whenever I got tired. So that's when you're at your weakest, right, mentally. It's when the Satan steps in. So I would just start when this pain came in. I would just sit down and I would talk to Jesus like he was sitting right next to me, right? I don't like to view Jesus as just a friend because he's our king, he's our savior, he's our master, right? But Jesus is also a loving God. And I just imagine him sitting right next to me, and I would share like what I'm feeling and ask him, just please take it. And you know what? After seemed like a few weeks, maybe a few months of that, there's no more pain. So yeah. I spent time in Shipshewana. I was driving around a doctor there in Indiana. Huh. Yep, Shipshewana. Good old town of Shipshewana. Small town, very busy town. Tourism. Church of Christ congregations do have a view of baptismal regeneration, but some individual congregations may not believe it. There are also other problems. All right, Daryl, yeah, there you go. So conservative Christian news junkie knows the stuff. So yeah, take what he said right there, and I would heed it or listen to it. So Church of Christ also claims believers don't have the Holy Spirit after the apostolic age. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah. Do you know if any of the Amish in the Shipshewana area go to Mexico for lower cost in healthcare? Yes, I do know some. Matter of fact, I work with a Amish guy whose sister-in-law goes to Mexico every 6 months for treatment. It's just so much cheaper there. Oh man, I'm way behind. So Blake Miller, oh wow, I didn't know they were KJV onlyist. I know the Amish speak Dutch, right? They also learn English to read and write. So yeah, Amish speak Pennsylvania Dutch. That's the first language they learn as kids, you know, toddlers. And then when they get ready to enter school, 6 years old, they are taught English, usually by the parents and siblings, because when they go to school, they have to speak English. Obviously, if they're in a public school, even if they're in a private Amish school, they are required to speak English there. And they do that just so that they become fluent and they can interact with businesses and outside people, right? So, CJ, there is a YouTube channel called Ready to Harvest that explains differences between different denominations, sects, and cults. It's really good. He's a young Christian, but very thorough. Oh, that's interesting. That would be interesting because I've always wondered what the different churches believe. So Don Chandler, what church do you now belong to? So we're attending a Calvary Chapel affiliated church. It's new Living Hope Fellowship is what it's called. The only reason it's not called Calvary Chapel is because a Mennonite group took the Calvary Chapel name years ago. So in the same area, so we couldn't use the same name. So Green Hub says I absolutely despise TikTok. Yeah, I haven't I haven't really gotten used to I'm so familiar with YouTube, and then Facebook is really just junk, but it reaches people. But yeah, TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, I just haven't really gotten on board. So Karen Tyler, Rumble and BitChute. Yeah, BitChute is spelled BITCHUTE. So a lot of people are going over BitChute. I think there's a migration to Rumble as well. Like if your YouTube, your people who you follow on YouTube disappear, I would check BitChute and Rumble first. Okay, now we can lose you off YouTube. We have a ministry. Yeah. Well, so yeah, hopefully not. I'm not, that would suck. But Regular Star was saying that he's been watching people's videos, and the video just disappeared all of a sudden, and he couldn't find the channel anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know what they go by, but if you definitely start talking about traditional marriages, traditional, women and stuff like that, it's very, very risky. Um, do I ever miss some parts of the Amish? No, not really. Well, I miss. Oh, it's an hour and 30 minutes already. Well, okay. If nobody's interested in the Super Bowl, we should be starting now. We'll just keep going. I just figured everybody would maybe drop off of that. What I miss is that the parts I miss about the simplicity of the Amish is what I miss. I miss that we have these now. Like I wish we wouldn't. If we get rid of just being home with family, working on a farm with no social media, no TVs, not even much of a newspaper, maybe is a dream. But being a YouTuber, it's hard not to have this, and I'm also addicted to YouTube because of everything you can learn on it, which is bad. It's nice learning things, but I should be spending time with my daughter instead of as much time on YouTube. That's what I miss. Amish don't have that, so they interact with each other more. That if they're bored on Sundays, they don't work, right? So they play games, interact, and it's just they still fight and have disagreements, but yeah, it's just a healthier environment. I YouTube has kept a lot of old ways alive, and we can't just knock media all the time or social media. YouTube, nobody ever really, very few people cure hams the way they used to 100 years ago. But you can still learn how on YouTube if you ever need that for the future. You know, gardening. Nobody ever did back to Eden gardening. Everybody around here, or wherever I've ever been, has been plowing their gardens and tilling them. And then you have one person who discovers back to Eden gardening. Paul Gauchi, whatever his name is. He puts it on YouTube. Guess what? Now you have that information and you can better your life because of it. I just yesterday I was thinking, what would medical, like if we were ever in a place where we couldn't get to a doctor or we couldn't call the ambulance, how would we handle medical things? This comes back to being prepared. Like, if it ever comes to the point where you can't use hospitals or can't use the EMS or doctors, what are you going to do, right? And I've already prepared a little bit for that. So I've gotten some books that we just store. I don't even read them, but we just have them in case that ever comes up. One of the medical books is called how to treat people where there's no doctor or something like that. I have edible plants books. That way if we ever need to go scavenge for food, that we can do that. Hopefully it never comes to that. I don't know that it ever will, but that we have this information. We have books that we can read, right? And unless they burn, they can't crash like computers. So that's good. That's a good way to be prepared. Get books and the information that you might use someday. Books aren't that expensive. But the thought I had yesterday was, so what about CPR or how to tie it? Can't think of the word. Tourniquet. I have no idea how to do that. I took CPR classes, but I forgot. But I think a great way to do that would be to find a video on YouTube, screen record it, because iPhones, I don't know if you can do it with Samsungs, but iPhones you can screen record, and you save it in your photos. So that if you ever need to do CPR or tie a tourniquet or whatever it may be, amputate somebody's leg. I hope that's not on YouTube. Anyway, doesn't matter. But you don't have to rely on internet or cell service to get there. You can go into your phone, in your photos, and you can watch that video and know how to do things. There's probably lots of videos that you could do that with so that you're prepared. I don't know that if you have to give somebody CPR, if you have enough time to watch a video first. I don't know how that works. But even just if somebody's choking, it's good to know. It'd be good to know how to do that stuff. I once had a girlfriend in Union, Michigan. In my youth, I'd be willing to bet her parents broke from the Amish, but not 100% on that. She used to talk about many of the places you have mentioned in Michigan. Oh, really? Union, Michigan. Where's that? I'm not sure. What is the cold shower thing? Green hubs? Oh, boy. Are you going down the cold shower? You try the cold showers. Supposedly cold showers, doing it day after day after day, is a very healthy thing. You might have to kill me first before you can get me to take a cold shower. I've been thinking about it. But, oh, that's going to suck. My parents lived in Shipshewana. They were Mennonite and such beautiful Christians. I spent many summers with them. Yeah, Sherry H. They are. We can talk about the bad things of the Amish, but they are awesome people for the most part. Very hospitable and stuff like that. I love my family, so they're so great. Christians, yes, they have a good Christian walk. Some of their doctrines are a little off, though. So, is Pennsylvania Dutch actually Swiss German? No, Pennsylvania Dutch is not Swiss German. Comments from me. There's some Amish who speak a Swiss dialect. I can't remember what it's called, but we can't understand them, and they can't understand us. It's a different, yeah. Montana Haven. If you guys know, that's a channel up Montana. They're living in Alaska now, but they were both raised Amish. That whole family. They still call themselves Amish, but they don't wear the clothes. They have cars, electricity, all that. But Joas, was raised in the community I was raised in. And Priscilla, his wife, was raised in Michigan somewhere, but they speak that Swiss, that different dialect of Swiss, Pennsylvania. I don't know what it is, but something Swiss. Yeah, I need to finish your testimony video because you talk about stuff more in depth. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry that it's so long. A lot of it's repeating, but it was my first video that I ever did. I just sat down in front of a camera and shot it. And yeah, hopefully I've been getting better. I don't know. Green Hub says, my videos are better than Wrangler Stars. You hate Wrangler Star Green Hubs? Come on, man. Can't hate that guy. He's a good guy. You've been picking on him a lot lately. Probably politics is what makes channel disappear. Yeah, it's just they don't like the content. You should tell people about Amish wedding. I did. I have a video detailing Amish weddings, Barbara. If you can go find that. Yeah, they're awesome. I think they outdo English when it comes to weddings. So don't watch football, so I'll stick around. Yeah, okay. No football, huh? Do Amish still rely on the publication from Ohio for their news? Can't recall the name of it. A lot of Amish people still get the newspaper. The publication, is it the Budget? The People's Exchange, the Budget? Not sure. There's also some Amish person, I believe maybe in Canada, puts out kind of a family life type of thing. A newspaper that my mom always loved. Okay, Hannah, there you are. I didn't see it. I was just in Mexico yesterday. What were you doing in Mexico? You got to be in school, not driving around. Hannah's our kid. I still got to, even though she's an adult, I still have to tell her what she can and can't do. Don't make me come pull you out of trouble down there in Mexico, some Mexico prison, Hannah. I know. We know what you get into when we're not around. Yeah, hopefully I can make it out there to your graduation, though. That would be awesome. Yeah, if you talk about conservative policies on YouTube, they will dump you. I'm listening on Rumble. Yep, I'm guessing. We have a very small Amish community where I live in Canada. My best friend was from there, but they left and went back to the province they came from originally. That's interesting. Like says, yeah, the small communities are always kind of unsettled and trouble in them and disputes over what is allowed and what isn't allowed, and they tend to move around or don't. Yeah, they just disintegrate eventually. I love YouTube because I learned so much. I know there's so much information to get on there. Please don't go to Patreon. I can't afford to pay for another subscription, Cindy Lou. Yeah, I don't have any Patreon plans just yet. I do have memberships turned on, but you don't have to. There's not a whole lot of extra perks. I appreciate you guys who have become members. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that. I know Chef DW Wholesaler's one. I had to look again on the others. But yeah, I have 3 versions of the membership. One's called the Mennonite, one's called the Schwarzentrooper, and the other one's the Englisher. So if you feel like joining, that's great. So I should, if I look at my chats here on YouTube, Chef DW Hostetler should have a little icon next to his name. Oh no, it's just, yeah, highlighted with 1 lamp. So if you're a member for a month, the first month you get 1 kerosene lamp, the ones we used to read books by at night. And then when you've been there for a month, you get the second lamp. You have that for 2 months, and then you get an Amish washing machine next to your name, the little logo icon. And then after you've been a member for 6 months, you get the Amish Chad Kroeger, which is the Nickelback singer. It's actually a picture of the Nickelback singer's face with his flowing curly blonde hair, which is driving me nuts, with my logo on it, this logo right here. So his face is inside there. It's hard to see because they're like 16 by 16 pixel icons. But that's what it is. And then after that, after a year, I think you get the buggy sign, the yellow triangles or diamond sign with the horse and buggy on it. And those might be changing as we, if I can have some more ideas on what to make. So I make them, and then if you guys have ideas on what should be up there, we'll do that. I couldn't resist putting the Chad Kroeger one up there because I'm not a fan. So yeah, Karen Tyler, you are also a member. You also have the lamp. Yep. I should be looking at my chat in here. The Amish definitely argue and fuss. They for sure do. Yep. Lots of disagreements. There's good and bad. There's a lot of Amish who will refuse to argue. They just want to sit on the sidelines and let the other people. But like anybody else, Amish all have different personalities. Wrangler Star is one of my favorites, Mary says, but no, we were rarely allowed doctors. I wasn't the same as Wrangler Star's church, but sounds similar. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm not yelling. My eyesight is just really bad. That's awesome. That's awesome. Just me, Barbie D. Study for your home remedies. It works. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Yeah. So that's a road I need to go down. Thanks for that, Dan. We only had 250 people at the height of it. Oh, is that in the? Oh, at the cult. Okay, gotcha. That's it? Yeah, okay. I absolutely need doctors because I have a heart condition and other medical issues that will need surgery eventually again. Yeah, so. Yeah, I don't know what the future is holding. I don't know if we'll see it or our kids or grandkids will see it. The off-grid North Country Farm. Hey, how are you doing? I need to check out your channel. I watched a video or 2 on your channel, so I need to check out some more of that. Lately I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, hit that like button, Dan says. Do that. Green Hub says, I don't hate him, I just don't agree with his doctrine. Wonder what Green Hub's speaking about Wrangler Star. I don't know, other than I'm not sold on the Sabbath thing, but if he wants to do that, that's fine. His other doctrine, I haven't heard anything else that was bad. Oh, except for maybe pork. But I don't know, if he doesn't want pork, I think that's fine too. I'd like to look into that, actually. Because there's some people who say you shouldn't eat pork or unclean animals, even Christians. That the New Testament doesn't make that okay. So I'd like to hear both arguments on that. I'll have to find some debates. So Catherine Gibson, would Amish ever help in English if they knew how, say, with childbirth? Yeah, like, are you talking in an emergency situation or just if you could? Because all Amish women have non-Amish. Even if they have childbirth at home, they have what do they call them? Midwives, non-Amish midwives, and they're already. So I don't know that there's any Amish midwives, although I'm sure some of them would know how in emergencies, but they would definitely rely on non-Amish midwives. But Amish people help non-Amish people, yeah. They do all the time. There's constantly, I have a cousin who's down in Alabama helping with some hurricane damage, flooding damage, whatever it is. They've helped in Haiti. They have a CAM thing going, a Christian Aid Ministry, donations where they donate a ton of items or help sort items, something like that up here in Shipshewana. They definitely do help. At least this community helps non-Amish people in those ways. If a tornado would hit a neighbor's barn and insurance isn't going to cover it or something, they would probably go help, most likely. So Wrangler Star believes in works. I don't know that he does, Green Hubs. Are you sure? I wonder why you would say that. You'll have to text me that information. I guess I haven't seen that side of it. So we went to get tacos there. It was like 20 of us that went in. It was a good time. Yeah, I believe it. In Mexico. I never liked Mexican food around here anyway because it's not really Mexican. It's Mexican American. But man, authentic Mexican food is delicious. Especially, I miss tacos. I'm on the carnivore diet, but we had a great taco place in Buell, Idaho. Oh, I miss that place. But we have a decent taco place here. Their sauce isn't quite as good though. Blake Miller, I met some Amish people in mid-Michigan. They were amazing people. We just hung out, rode in a buggy with donkey pulling us. That's funny. So Montana Haven, both their fathers have written books, and so has Priscilla's brother. Yes, they have. I still want to read those. Man, I just get rid of this YouTube. Maybe I'd have time to read some books because that would be fantastic. There's a few more abuse books that I'd like to read too, or at least one more that I was told about. So, and they had a car, but also horses. That's interesting. I wonder what community that was. Elmo Stoll's Boys Print Family Life. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where that's at. Off Grid North Country Farm. Are they from Canada? There's Family Life and there's some other things. Can't remember what it is, but maybe it's not Canada. I was just thinking it was, but Penny, right? LOL Nickelback thing. I know. We gotta hate them. That's what we're supposed to do. I did before I heard about the hate that's out there for them. Just me. I love Nickelback. Saw them in concert. They were wicked. Yeah, wicked bad. No, just me, Barbie D. Yeah, a lot of people do like them. I don't. I like their first song, and I played it till I got so sick and tired of it. And then I think the rest of their albums that they came out with, I just wasn't a fan. we have to get some merchandise available. Yes, so we're still working on that. It's a process. Let me know what you guys want. Authentic. I'm only going to sell. I think the plan is to only sell Amish made goods. So, and not big Amish business stuff, but small, kind of like the Etsy stuff, but people who are making stuff at home and selling it. So I might have a lead on some soap. This is the tricky part though, right? So here I have a YouTube channel where I discuss Amish people, which they are not a fan of having their lives, discussed. And I talk about how they're a false religion on the internet. And then I go to them and I'm like, hey, I'm the Amish potato on YouTube. Do you want to sell your products? I'll sell your products. It's like a double-sided life almost. I don't know how to handle this. Most of them probably don't care that much. I don't know, and I'm going to be open and honest with them. Also, I'm part of Amish Rescue Mission. And I'm sure until they hear the details, they won't be a fan of that either. Some of them will be a fan of that here in this community, but right at first when they hear Amish Rescue Mission, they're going to be like, what is going on? Try and take our kids. But if you give them the details, they'd be all right with it. But yeah, so it's kind of like awkward to walk into somebody, talk to somebody like, hey, I'll sell your products, but this is who I am. I guess take it or leave it, right? So put links up so people know. I tell people that a lot. Not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, I need to find a way to put links up before I go live. I'll try to put the links up in the videos to Amish Rescue Mission, places like that, after this video. Excuse me. But the New Testament states all foods are okay in Mark. Kimberly Friday, but the New Testament states. If you're talking about the Peter thing with his dreams, that's what I think everybody goes by, and it might be the case. I don't know. That's why I want to hear both arguments. Because some people say that dream doesn't mean it's okay to eat unclean animals. But I don't know. Then Paul says it's okay to eat meat sacrificed to idols, right? So it'd be interesting to hear both sides of the arguments. Is it possible for Amish women to go to school to become a midwife? I would guess they would be okay with that. I don't know that any have tried. I don't know what it takes to become a midwife. I'm sure there's Amish midwives in other communities who just don't have schooling. But they're not supposed to go past schools or go past the 8th grade in school. In any situation, if an English really needed help with some health problems or even stranded out of the gas, yes, tornado, anything, would Amish help? Or do they draw the line? Yeah, they would help. In this community, they would help. Matter of fact, yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. They're Amish people. There's been trucks, like gas trucks and stuff like that, stuck in muddy situations. There's been cars and people stuck on snowy roads. Amish people will, if they have a tractor, they'll use that. But they've a lot of times they've got their team of horses all hitched up and will pull people out of the ditch. Matter of fact, my grandpa lived in an area where there was a lot of drifting going on in the winter times. So he would just leave a team of horses hitched up standing in the barn waiting for the next guy to get stuck, and then he would go out and pull them out with horses. It's amazing what some of those horses can do, those big farm horses. So, Amish would definitely help in time of crisis in the communities that are truly giving and kindness. So, where are we at here? So yeah, they would help. Medical situation. My mom, there's a girl that showed up at my house one time. She was cold and she needed a place to stay. My mom, yeah, she let her stay. She was a little nervous about it because the lady looked a little sketchy, so she patted her down first, and then because we kids were in the house, but yeah, and then she gave her a place to stay until they could find and they had a phone she could use to call somebody. This was before cell phones. So, and then she could find a way out. So Yep, they do. They definitely do help. Anytime that there's a need. Wrangler Star said he said that only true believers worship on Saturday. That's my biggest gripe. Yeah, but you have to. Yeah, that's probably incorrect. But I think you just overlook that. He's yeah, I don't know. I overlook those things. Like I know that's what he believes, but it's just not biblical that I know of. So yeah, that's in my opinion. If you can't get past that, then I guess yeah, or I shouldn't word it like that. But I don't like it when people do that either. But yeah, if you only worship on Saturday, or if you don't worship on Saturday, you're not a true believer. Or if you don't believe in baptism, baptism necessary for salvation, then I don't know. Yeah, it's just so many different beliefs, but the Bible says what it says. So. Please sell Amish black men's jackets. Are you talking about their suit jacket, for church? Those are fitted, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody sells those, and if the stores do, I'd have to get somebody custom make them. That would be a little hard. So off-grid North Country Farm green hubs. I keep Sabbath on Saturday, and I know quite a few other plain people who do. I'm not Messianic or Seventh-day Adventist, so yeah. Honestly, the Sabbath is on Saturday. It's if you're going to hold to keeping the Sabbath, kind of like the Amish do, it's on Saturday, Friday evening to Saturday evening, biblically last day of the week. It's kind of funny how these groups who say you have to keep the Sabbath, then they keep it on Sunday, because that's not that's not the Sabbath. The reason we worship on Sunday is because I think is that the day. I've heard a couple things. That's the day Christ rose from the dead, right? So I from what I hear, the Christian church just started worshiping on that day, and then I've also heard that the Jews would use the synagogues on Saturday, so then the Christians used it on Sundays. But I don't know who controlled the synagogues, because I don't think the Jews would allow the Christians to use their synagogues if they ran them. I don't know. So I don't know. I haven't studied enough. I haven't studied enough to argue for either way. So I'm staying out of the Sabbath thing. Dan Vincent, I stumbled across this. Is this an ongoing site or a one-time thing? No, this is an ongoing site. I have over 100 videos on YouTube. I am just starting, though, to do live streams Sunday evenings. And let me know, guys, if that doesn't work for you. Sunday evenings seems to be working for right now. I thought about moving them to Saturday evenings. If just let me know if Sunday evenings is not a good time. I know football's running into it right now, but football's over after today. So, but probably not weeknight. It'd have to be Saturday or Sunday. Maybe a Friday night. Yeah. My live stream is just spinning. I am missing out. I hope that's not happening everywhere else. Lisa Ralph says, "Do you still have horses?" I do not. Miranda wants some really bad. I never was a horse person. I had to drive them to get around when I couldn't use my bicycle as an Amish kid. But unlike my brothers, I was never a horse enthusiast. Amish people, they tend to, especially the young boys, they want fast horses, right? They want nice looking fast horse. I didn't care. I would go over and hitch up my grandma's horse, who just plopped along at a slow pace and sometimes walked, and I didn't care. It took a long time to get to the place I needed to go anyway. What's a couple more minutes? But I would hitch up her horse, and I would just use her horse. She needed use anyway. instead of using, my dad's faster horses a lot of times. So now leaving. Nope, I am not a horse person. We don't have horses. If it ever became available where we had a small farm where a horse didn't cost too much or something, I'd be open to getting Miranda one. But at the moment, we don't have that. There are a lot of Amish people who end up leaving the Amish, but still are very, very much horse people. So, okay, guys, take it easy in the chat. No fighting about the Sabbath. Lewis Clark, how do your parents are? I'm not sure. How do your parents respond to your claim that their form of faith is a cult? Oh, they disagree. They disagree, and my mom has even told me that I need to stop talking about it at home with my other siblings, or she won't let me come around. I don't usually bring it up, but if a question is asked or something, I have a hard time staying quiet. And that's always the hard thing. Like, do I shut up and let them do their thing, or do I need to speak up? Because by not speaking up, am I not being a servant to Christ? Am I not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? It does not work to try to beat it in their heads. I unfortunately tried that, but dropping a verse here and there, yeah. So you're almost at 37. Right? Yeah, 30,000. I know. Yeah, it is awesome. That's great. I never imagined that would happen. So 78 likes. Keep smashing that thumb. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you for smashing that thumbs up. Thank you, Chef DW Hostetler. I still want to eat some of your food if you're a chef. Are you a barbecue guy? There's a lot of. If you used to be Amish, there's still a lot of Amish. A lot of Amish are good barbecue steak grillers, and they have all the good the green eggs and all that stuff, right? So the best steaks I've had come from my Amish friends, hands down. My Amish guy friends, and the women enjoy that too because then they don't have to cook as much. We love our horses, goats, chickens. You can take the man out of the Amish, but not the Amish out of the man. That is correct. We will forever be Amish, even if we don't dress like it. Yep, that is correct. We never had chickens. We had a cow growing up, but I love my chickens. I would love having the milk from a cow, the cheese, and the butter that comes from it. I don't know if I want to commit to waking up and milking every morning and every night. That's what I'm thinking. With cows, if you have somebody who's interested in doing dairy cows, buy the neighbor or somebody in your community, buy him a cow, buy him another cow, get him to milk it, and buy the milk from him. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but you can make a ton of good stuff with fresh, raw milk. And yeah, just support him. When he learn how to milk and when he takes vacation, step in. That's how you support each other. My dad has done chores for our neighbors a lot, and they've done chores for my dad. I'm a veterinary medicine, but the Amish believe that our pets go to heaven. Do the Amish believe that our pets go to heaven? Do our pets have souls? The Amish in my community, I don't know if they believe they have souls. They don't view pets as highly as the non-Amish communities. I don't know what they believe. It probably depends on the individual. But yeah, they definitely, dogs are just farm dogs. Some Amish have smaller dogs in the house. There's no cats in the house that I have ever seen. Amish are very, very clean people in this community. Their houses are very clean for the most part, most of them. So a cat is out of the question. Small dogs that don't shed are sometimes okay, but I'm guessing they get their butt wiped with wipe-alls or wet wipes every time they go use the restroom. I don't know. And as far as animal treatment, that varies on the Amish people, per person. Some treat them horribly, and then others treat them really, really good. The health benefits from fresh milk is amazing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's always all these reports of milk, fresh milk, raw milk, making people sick and stuff. But I think a lot of times it's because they don't know how to take care of it. Like you have to take care of it differently than pasteurized milk. You have to make sure it stays refrigerated and stuff, or turned into cheese and butter. I missed it. Why did you move back home, Kyrie? Some family stuff in Idaho, and so yeah, we just needed out for the time being. So we moved back into Michigan, close to the Indiana community, just across state line. Matter of fact, the community's reaching up into Michigan, but for now, close to my family. We're going to enjoy my family, but we'll probably end up out of state again someday. But for now, we're here, just in this season of life. There might be a huge opportunity coming up in the future. I don't know. Well, I'm probably taking a layoff. The RV industry has tanked, so I'll probably take a voluntary layoff. Probably find out tomorrow for sure. But so 2 more weeks of RV work, and then I'm probably going to be out on my own, just doing home services, repairs and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And then, I kind of wanted to do that. That way we're free to move wherever we want. When we don't have a mortgage, which is freeing, and it enables us to more easily move to where God needs us. And wherever that may be, I don't know. But I've for years and years now, I've wanted to be basically debt free to be able to do that. If God needs me in Africa, then we can go to Africa. If God needs me, over here, we can go over here. And when you have payments and bills and mortgages that can't happen because you have to make payments. And and it seems, I don't want to brag about being debt free because it was not my own doing. I manage money quite horribly. So I'm just hoping from here on out I can manage it much better. We caught a break, and I'm hoping to stick with it and not ruin it. Hopefully we can meet up in July when we are in Shipshewana. I'll bring you some Amish signature desserts. That diet will have to be put on hold for a day. Chef DW, you're killing me here. For one day, I might do it. Yep. Yeah, I might. The diet's going well. It's going really good. I'm excited about it. Just carnivore diet, just meat, eggs, and cheese. Basically, that's it. There's no carbs. I love it. I encourage my dad to do it. My dad has some autoimmune stuff going on with skin, and so I encouraged him to do it at least for a couple months. And he didn't quit carbs cold turkey. He kind of weasel his way in slowly, and I've been trying to just go all the way. Just meat, eggs, and cheese. Just go all the way. And so he's been doing good, but I don't think he was as sold on it until he went meat shopping in Shipshewana at Yoder's. And there happens to be a guy. He came in there looking for meat, and he mentioned that he was on the carnivore diet, and some guy came out of the back room, or maybe he talked to that guy originally, but he came out and he said, "Oh, really?" Because it's one of the employees said, "Oh, really? I've been on the carnivore diet for 2 years." And he says, and he just kept talking. He just started talking about it, and he's been on it for 2 years, and he said he's never going to go back. He lost 70 pounds, and he has never felt better. He thinks more clearly, and that was the encouragement my dad needed. So whoever you are, thank you. And I'm hoping, my dad can get some freedom from autoimmune stuff through this. So we'll see. As an Amish person, it is super hard to stay away from all the good, delicious desserts, sweets, and stuff. If you're on the carnivore diet for years, you can probably step away and do a piece of pie or something, and it's not going to hurt you. However, it'll taste good, and then you're going to want more. So it's just the self-discipline that's got to stay strong. I don't know how long I'll be doing it. My plan was to do it until veggies come in. I don't know if I can resist tomatoes and some of the other garden veggies. Yeah, so Chef DW, let me know when you're in the area. Send me an email. You already have. Send me an email with your contact info whenever you're ready, or message me on Messenger, and yeah, we'll get in touch. We'll hopefully I can buy you a meal then. Just tried raw milk the other day. Best milk I ever had. Yeah, Gavin, that's I got a hold of some for my daughters, and they were astonished at the taste of it. Are we 2 hours and 10 minutes already? Oh wow. Okay. But yeah, they're all so sweet, so good. Yeah, the raw milk, the stuff you buy at the store just isn't what raw milk is. I'm not a milk fan. Never have been. I don't like the taste of it. Just the milk taste. You know, I used to eat cereal before going. I was lactose intolerant too, but I used to eat cereal before going to school, and to cover up that milk taste, I put in a ton of sugar to make it tolerable. But lactose intolerant, I don't. Yeah, carnivore diet made that go away for a while. I did the carnivore diet for 2 months, and it went that lactose intolerant. I was able to eat ice cream afterwards, no issues. So what was I going to say? Oh, but yeah, eggs and or cheese and butter. Cheese and butter I can't stay away from. You know, I just did a video for our friends who have a dairy, and they make cheese, farmstead cheese in Idaho. I miss their cheese. Man, it was good. It's good old. It was expensive. It's expensive cheese but it's good. That farmstead cheese is good. It's drier. I miss it. I'm praying for you, CJ. Thank you, Green Hubs. Oh, no. Now you're gonna hate me too, huh? Let us know how the home repair. Yeah, I'll keep you in touch on the home repair stuff. Seems like there's a need for it, so um, yeah, I'll keep you posted. All the Amish around here have barn cats, but no house cats. Off country, yeah. So the Amish around here do have barn cats too. Yeah, just no house cats. Will you be doing shows on home repairs? Well, I mean, maybe if you guys are interested in that. I just thought there was plenty of them out there already, but um, I have no idea how that's going to go. I know how to fix things, but I don't know how to fix them efficiently yet. So um, there's a lot of things I got to figure out. So love your non-judgmental approach to others. Well, thank you, Mary. It seems like I am judgmental sometimes, though. But, Dolly Jazz. I know the guy your dad's talking about from Yoder's. I've known him for years, and he has lost a lot of weight for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool to meet him. I'm gonna go in there and buy meat and just so I can chat with him. I'm excited that he's, you know, it's not just him. It's thousands of other people on YouTube that have done this diet. I know there's all these diets. There's other diets that are good, I'm sure, but there's so many people that have done this and have cured or gotten rid of autoimmune issues, and they've lost weight and stuff. And it is a bit boring. Like just having an avocado right now, you know, that I love avocado. I just eating out of avocados like that with a little salt is delicious, but no go. So just me, Barbie. It almost sounds like keto diet. I will have to Google it. Yeah, Google it. It's a harsher form of keto diet. So keto is low carb. Carnivore is no carb. I wonder, talking about pie. You guys are having a good old pie conversation, huh? So yeah, if you ever can do the small business owner, you can. Yeah, hopefully we'll see how it goes, and then put the RV thing behind you and do your thing. Yeah, I'm ready to get out. You know, RVs are it's easy. It's hard work, but you make good money, and it's you work 7 hours a day, 6.5, 7 hours a day. You go in early morning, you come home at noon, and you leave work there. You just it's there. It's not. You know. and you take a nap, you still have the rest of the evening. But it's just mundane. Same thing over and over, and same people over and over, and which isn't bad. I got a great group of guys to work with, a really good group of guys to work with, but you're tied down too. 5 days a week, or 4 days, or 3 days, whatever they say. You only get 4th of July week off for vacation. You can't if the RV business factories are booming. You can't really take off any other weeks. You kind of have to. Your vacations have to be during 4th of July or Memorial Day or Christmas. Christmas shutdown, and that's when everybody else is taking vacation. So yeah, reach out to me on Messenger, DW. That would be awesome. I only drink chocolate milk. White milk makes me ill. Very interesting. A2 milk won't mess with your stomach. Yep, that's what I hear. I need to try that out. I don't know if I can get past the taste of it. Maybe I've grown out of that. I don't know. But yeah, A2 milk is the way to go, I hear. So. It's our friend in Idaho, the dairy guy and the cheese guy, he said that I don't think he was a believer in lactose or something. Something was all. Can't remember what he was explaining to me, but something with ice cream and milk definitely bothered me. Cheese didn't really so much unless I eat a lot of it. So we kept Sabbath on Sunday. Growing up, also no makeup, birth control, pants for women, TV. Oh, wow. Also no makeup, birth control, pants. Really, no pants for women, no TV. Malls were pretty much a sin. No kidding. Yeah, I mean yeah, some of that is bad, but I don't know that it needs to be restricted that much. So glad you're on Sunday evenings. Okay, well, we'll just keep it here for now unless I hear anything else. When I get stressed, I can't eat, and wow, do I lose the weight. Really, Jack? Oh, man. Wish I could. I don't want to be stressed, but that's why I'm doing the diet, is to lose a few pounds. Penny Gin Right. Oh, man, the Village Inn is my favorite restaurant in Middlebury. Yeah, it's a good place to eat. Village Inn. It's probably my favorite place in Middlebury. Hilltop's also decent. But yeah, Village Inn. So looks like pie. Keeping the Sabbath, whether a person believes in having to keep the Sabbath or not, I just usually take Sundays off. I don't consider this work, I guess, but I take Sundays off. I enjoy having a day off just to do nothing, and we did that as with kids, and I think it's good to get a day of rest just to get away, whatever day it may be. It could be Monday for you, if not. I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear a Seventh-day Adventist or somebody who keeps the Sabbath on Saturday, a debate between him and one who doesn't think it's necessary. Be very interesting to hear that. Also with the bacon with the pork, eating the pork. So yeah, be interesting. I need to look into that stuff. So I should be going. It is 2:20 almost. Wow, 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Wow. Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure. Your conversations, your questions. I do want to, talking about you guys are talking about pants in the chat, women wearing pants and stuff. And that's a video I want to put out one of these days. It's been on my mind. Women dresses, pants, what Amish women wear, stuff like that. So hopefully, not too far from here, you'll see a video that's titled "Women Have to Wear This Until They're Married" or something with some weird picture on it, clickbait. It's how we get views. It's a bummer, but I don't know. So we'll see. Personally, I love seeing women in dresses. I don't think Amish women Amish people always said, well, women have to wear dresses. They always have, and I believe that men and women should dress differently. Definitely need to dress differently, but I don't know that you can argue that women have to wear dresses. A woman should dress like a woman. A man should dress like a man. But from the Amish perspective, women have always worn dresses, men have worn pants, and that's how it has to be. It's not really. Because in biblical times, in Jesus' times, men wore robes, right? So that's kind of similar to a dress. So if that's your argument, then you shouldn't be wearing pants either. You should be wearing a robe. So yeah, I can't believe this 60 of you guys stuck around for 2 hours. I appreciate that. I just don't understand. It's kind of blows my mind sometimes how you find it interesting, because I would think it's boring. I don't know if I could listen to my own streams if somebody else was doing it. So April says, I love my dresses and they are not short, pray Jesus. Yeah, I think dresses are very feminine, and I think society is lying to all women and telling them that men aren't attracted to feminine women. I think men are more attracted to feminine women. The soft women, the kind-hearted women. But that's a whole nother road to go down. But if you watch a little bit of TikTok or some shorts and stuff on YouTube or Facebook, wherever it is, that these girls they're trash. They don't know any better. I'm not blaming them, but the young ladies growing up today are just trash. And to be honest, I'm thankful I have a daughter and not a son, because I would be concerned for my son finding a good wife. And I'm sure they're out there. Just they're becoming rare, and hopefully I'm raising my daughter well enough that she'll be a good wife to a man someday. I think it's easier I think it would be easier to take a son-in-law under my arms and raise him up to be a healthy husband, to put that responsibility in his hands, that you're married to my daughter, now you have some responsibilities, which means providing, protecting, and spiritually leading, and being a good father, and all that comes along with it. There's a huge responsibility on fathers, but I think men are willing to embrace, young boys would be willing to embrace that with a little bit of coaching, where the feminist thing is just a hard battle to fight. And I think it'd be hard to raise a son in these times and have him find a good, godly woman, unfortunately. Can women come out of that mindset and become good, godly women? Yeah, for sure. I think it's just harder for them, because feminism has been pushed and pushed for so long. My opinion, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. I can't stay out of this chat. So, jeans are more suitable to wear horse riding and some other activities. I think the intention is to present yourself as the opposite sex intentionally. Yeah, probably. My wife and Miranda wears pants. They don't wear dresses, and I'm not going to force them to. I would prefer that they do. My wife wore a dress for my sister's wedding, and she was beautiful in it. But it's just not her. Like she never wore them growing up, right? And Miranda, you know, the other youth she hangs around with don't wear dresses. So, you know, I'm not going to force them to. All I can do is encourage. And if they choose to, that's awesome. But if they don't want to, then I'm not going to be. Yeah, maybe I should force them to, but I don't know that that's healthy, since it's not a biblical thing. So I've heard of women who do wear dresses and pants that they say they get more respect from men when they're out in public. Like the door, they feel like they get looked at differently. The door is held open for them more often, you know, and I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And many people might say, well, they should have respect for us no matter what we wear. Well, true, but you should also do things to gain respect from people in public, right? So, yeah, this is a touchy subject. It'll stop, you know, some people won't like it, but it is what it is, you know, and it's you know, the biker chick on a bike that's half naked, you know, sitting on a Harley, very attractive to men, very attractive in a lustful way, and that's about it. But when a man is looking for a wife, what he wants is a tradcon woman, a traditional conservative woman, a feminine woman. Because we are the rough. We do the wood chopping. We do, you know, we do the cussing. We're rough around the edges, and we want, in order to we want the wife to come in to be loving and soft and sweet, and, you know, not our slaves, but to complete the other side of us. You know, I think a man and a woman, the way God designed them together, make a whole. So, not a whole, like, but like WHOL. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. They complete each other in a sense. So, obviously, there's you know, personalities. But as a whole, I think, yeah, I think most men would want a feminine woman to settle down with for life. You know, that's more attractive to them than this half naked biker chick when it comes to securing your future partner. So, yeah, man, if people actually dress the way humble is, I believe it is important. Yeah, I agree. I would listen to this forever. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Jeans are more suitable to wear. Yeah, I read that already. Yeah, I thought you were waiting for more to tell a funny story. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a comedian. I wish I had more funny stories. uh, I think there's beauty in modesty. It's hard because of the culture, but oh my goodness, they show everything. Not appealing. Exactly. MLP. Are you male? I don't know, man. Not sure, Green Nubs. Anyway. Hannah seems to be an interesting person. I think she said she's born again. Hope she finds a good Christian young man. Yeah, she is born again. That's for sure. I think her walk's showing it. Not perfect, but for somebody her age, we are very happy and pleased with Hannah. Um, yeah, like not like I said, she's not perfect, but the road she's going down, we're not concerned about her. We're loving where she's at. What's up?
I'm right.
It's my wife.
Miranda has her friends in her room. We're going to stay in her room. And I'm going to take Trooper with me and go get the old man from KFC. He hasn't had dinner.
Okay, I need to end this. It's been 2.5 hours.
No, you're fine. But you should probably get
on that. So, good night, everyone. Dogs are telling me it's time to go out. All right, later. Just me, Barbie. So I should have said the problem is when the person presents themselves intentionally as the opposite sex. I don't think most women do that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're not intentionally dress in the opposite sex. What? Yeah, Christian news junkie. You worded it correctly. I avoid blue-haired women. That's a bad sign. Yeah. For the most part, yeah. I've seen some good women. I'm not a fan of the color in the hair, but. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, female, MLP's female. Yeah, you nailed it. I like hearing from other guys too, because I have my views, my opinions on that subject, and yeah, I'm just kind of curious what other guys think too. Mail order brides. There you go, Green Hubs. Might have to do it. All right, you guys, I got to get out of here. It's 2.5 hours. I'm getting hungry. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait till next week. I love you guys. You're in my prayers. Keep us in your prayers, and we will see you next time. I'm CJ. This is the Amish Potato.